Well, what happened was, I went over to see Bob, and 7 years ago it was, and we fired this thing up. And that little clip, just that little bit that it ran, just had a couple squirts of gas in it. We just dumped a little gas in it, and it fired up and burned up that gas, and we said, well, it runs, and we didn't start it anymore. We didn't run it again. And not long after that, Bob got sick, and he wound up with something called encephalitis, and that's a virus in the brain. It's the only brain virus that is treatable, but it took its toll. And you know, Bob just can't physically do what he used to do. And it's you know, he used to climb all over these things and in them, around them, on top of them, under them, you know, and he can't physically do that anymore. So he wanted me to have this rat rod. This was going to be his rat rod, and I wanted it for him. I didn't want it for me, man. I mean, I just really wanted it for him, and he loved it too. But the other day he called and he says, you know, I'm not going to be able to do anything with that Hudson. If you want it for what I paid for it, it's yours. And you know, I want to give it a good home. I thought maybe I would just flip it, and I told him, I said, well, I may just sell it. You know, I really don't need another car. And he's okay with that. Whatever I want to do with it, he's okay with it. But I told myself I would not get emotionally involved with this car. And then I drove it. I drove about 3.5 hours looking at it in the mirror. And I started to fall in love. You know, and I told myself I wouldn't do that, but I could feel myself falling for it. And I don't know how deep that love runs, you know. I don't know what's going to happen here yet, but I like it a lot. And my plan right now, it's a short term, is just to get it running and take Bob for a ride. And you know, I think that'll make him happy. And he was happy today because we talked a little bit, and he found out that he and I share the same vision for this car. I'm not going to chop this thing up. I'm going to chop the top and cut it up and take the fenders off or this and that, you know. I'm going to leave it just like it is. Make it run and leave it like it is. And that's what he wanted to do. So that pleased him. But when I talked about what my vision was for it, and boy, we were right on the same page. So he feels like it went to a good home. And I don't know how long, you know me, I don't get rid of very many things, but I might have to this one. We'll see. Anyway, it's going to be really a lot of fun to get it started, get it running, make it go down the road. So that's the short-term plan, and I don't have a long-term plan, but it's cool. It's a cool rig, and I'll do another video and go over some things with it, because we have much better cameras now than we had 7 years ago. So I guess that's about it. I just thought I would go ahead and clue you guys in. I told you there'd be an update on this thing, so here's the update. The update is it's sitting in my shop, and I have the title. I'm the owner. That's the update. But yeah, old Chevy 6-cylinder, old inline 6 with dual carbs and headers. It sounded good. It sounded good when it started. So probably by, yeah, I don't know if I can stood it or not. I started to say probably by tomorrow night this thing could be running. Then again, you know, it's early. What is it? 8:45? Yeah, 10:09, something like that. Okay. Mr. Bob, if you see this, I appreciate you, my friend, and I appreciate all of you. So, enough said. See you later. Quite the golf cart. Let's get that thing.
400 for that.
Yeah.
Run across the Djibouti.
Okay. I'll have to get it out, push it out in the daylight tomorrow and get a little video on it.
Okay.
Well, that's neat though.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. A golf cart with flames on it.
Yeah. It comes that way.
Yeah. Got flames up here. It's got little dice hanging from the handlebars.
Yeah, I put those on.
Oh, did you?
Something to do.
Sure. Neat. 1:20 in the a.m., 1:20 in the morning. And I'm about to go searching for a starter. I bet I got one of them up on the shelf out back. Let's go see. Well, let's go upstairs, see what we got on the deck. There, lo and behold, there's a generator. Huh. Okay. There is a one-wire alternator. That's a good thing to have. That's something Stretch needs. Oh, what we got over there? That's more like an old 216 starter, maybe 235. I don't remember. Looks like two. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What have we got here? Check this out. I think we might be onto something there. Okay. We'll wire that baby up and see what happens. Okay, I had an issue. Oh well, everybody knows I have issues. But anyway, had an issue with the starter. Sometimes I'd have power to it and sometimes I wouldn't when I checked the main terminal on the starter. And it wouldn't kick over, it would throw the Bendix in, but it wouldn't spin the starter. So I thought maybe the starter was not grounding good. And I ran a little ground strap to the motor mount and the mounting bracket on the mounting bolt on the starter. That didn't change anything, so I finally discovered somebody had run a piece of conduit, electrical conduit through there as the battery cable to the starter. And apparently that cable's broken inside the conduit or something because it was hit and miss. I discovered it was not a good connection, so I ran a new cable and now it spins over. I haven't tried to start it. I have no idea where the points are set. No idea where the timing is set. I know there's power to the points. Well, there you go. That's the first hit since I've owned this vehicle. I got quite a bit of gas up there. Maybe, yeah, let me get a rag and wipe that down. Blow that off. It has gas in the tank. I know that. But I don't know if the fuel pump's picking it up. Apparently not. Yeah, I'm not getting fuel to the carburetor yet. I'll probably throw a little electric fuel pump on there. That'd be the best thing. Okay, we're not getting fuel, but it runs. Yeah, I'll stick that in a can of gas or with an electric fuel pump. And, there's no fluid in the transmission. I don't know if that transmission's good or not. I know it's dry. I was tapping on the pan underneath there and it made an echo. Alright, I'll get this fuel thing figured out. I'll get back with you. Okay, I have an electric fuel pump wired up over there and stuck in a can of gas. Uh-oh, I see a fuel leak. see a little fuel leak over there. That's not going to work. I'll show you Bob's setup. I don't know quite what was going on, or what this thing is, rather. This is his fuel block to tee off and go to both carburetors. And as you can see, it's leaking somewhere here. So I'm gonna do something different. I'll be back with you. It's always something, ain't it? Oh, when I started up too, what was happening here? Where is it? Oh, or when I started up all ago, when it first cranked, you saw that one. This was hanging down here, and it squirted oil all over the place. It was never hooked up to a gauge. So I hooked one up to a gauge, and I think I forgot to tighten it down because it's still leaking. So let me tighten that up and change the fuel system around a little bit, and I'll try it again. Okay, I got rid of that, whatever that is. I think it was just something ornate that Bob wanted to use. He used to do a lot of metal sculptures like I do, yard art out of junk, and that's how we got acquainted. He saw my YouTube channel and some of my yard art, and his wife says that he would say, "You got to come look at this, look what this guy's building." And he was doing the same thing I was doing, and I always tell people when first time I went to see him, see their place and his yard art, it was like walking around my own yard. I mean, we had so much in common. And then we, you know, the love of old cars. He likes orphan cars. He's got a couple of Pacers, and he's got a Rambler Ambassador, and he always had the orphans. So anyway, I got my fuel. I got rid of that and replaced it with that. I borrowed that off of the V12 because it has the dual carb setup, so that was real easy to put this T in there. But I haven't tested it yet. Let's turn the fuel pump on and see what happens, see if I got any leaks. Well, it filled the bowl with fuel. The filter, I mean. I got a little plastic filter on there. Just you can see it's full. Let's go around and see if it'll crank. I don't know what's going to happen, but maybe we can make something happen. Well, I'll probably need a little gas to prime the carburetor. Well, you can see I was pumping oil. There's a hole in that. I'm trying to shut the switch off with one hand. There, I got the fuel pump turned off. My little oil pressure line has a hole in it. Yep. Okay. Well, I've probably got a dozen of them laying around here, so I'll swap that out. But it runs. It lives. big car. Yeah. It's cool though. Okay, I got that hose off and put a new ferrule on there and tighten it down, and I'm ready to fire this thing again. I can do it with one hand. Fuel pump. Oh, I'm loving it. I'm excited. I'm in love. I'm in love. Oh, take in those fumes. Oh, man, it's nice. Okay, let me get this thing down a little bit and I'll get you guys on the tripod and we'll fire it one more time. I need both hands to lower the lift. Sit you guys down there for a minute. Sit you in my toolbox. Now don't be wiggling around. You'll fall out. Hurt yourself on the concrete. There we go. Fire it up one more time. Man, this is exciting. There's nothing I love more than to bring an old rig like this back to life. Have it live again. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna back the idle off for a little bit on them. See if I can get it to idle down. But the next step is to put some transmission fluid in. See if it moves. See if it's got a good tranny or a dead tranny. We're gonna find out. I'm going to set the points, kind of dial those carburetors in a little maybe, but it lives. It is alive. I wonder if it'll move under its own power. Maybe I better throw some tranny fluid in it. Find out. Well, it's pie and coffee night in the shop. We've been firing up the old Hudson. It's up in the air. Guys are taking a look at it.
Right.
They're inspecting everything.
No. And the markers are territory. Yeah.
A little smoky in here. And a fine time was had by all.